thank you, Mr. Jones, for clarifying things for us.
Well,
and I didn't mean that facetiously. I think that you made a good point. Can we get a consensus here to go forward with?
Yeah, no, I think you've made a good point, okay? But I think you've missed a point. There's a point you missed, okay? In order to do $44,000 and 60 and 60, right? Is that the way the numbers come out? 60, 70, 65, whatever it comes, okay? 65, 75, whatever, okay? In order to do that, right, it means that you have to cut some $25,000 or so, from the part that was going to go to the school side. So when you say restore the people, right, 65,000 restores people here in the town side, okay? But it doesn't restore cuts that they're going to make at the school side. They're going to cut real people at the school side, okay? Which you know, the 89,000 restores personnel that they will cut. Okay, so it's all well and good to say that we're not, you know, we restore the cuts and we're not cutting people, but people are being cut. Okay, so that's my objection to it. It's all well and good. It's all well and good to, you know, to say, okay, let's stuff it to October, we'll get it out in October. Okay, but those people will be gone. So my answer is, you're waiting for my answer, okay? Much like them from the other side, okay? I guess I could reluctantly, and probably more reluctant than them, agree to this compromise.
Thank you.
More reluctant than them, I repeat.
I don't know.
Amen. I declare a compromise. Thank you. Okay, so you've got the consensus and direction of the board at this.
44,000 set aside for health insurance.
Right, use that, right.
Which is, it turns out that number that was in the book was right.
130.
Interestingly enough.
Right, so, yeah, but we have to reduce the override amount by 131,000?
Yes, it brings the new override amount to 1,043,098.
Okay.
And that we have to, that's our next item, right?
I have a motion.
So, can I just, excuse me.
Yes.
Can I just, so what I got, Greg, Falconis, is what I've got then, I just want to, what I've got then is 175 minus 44, right, 131?
Yes.
1,000. That's 65.5 for
That's
school,
correct.
65.5 per year. So that leaves you, what, about $5,000 to restore? What was the
Salary.
positions are 60,000, so that leaves you $5,000 to spread out on the, am I right?
Yes.
Just about 5,000.
Which
So on
he
the
and
5,000,
Joe are gonna get together.
back to us? What?
Yeah, we'll get a report from him, and if he calls, if he lets me know, I'll make sure everyone gets that information. And you know, we can, if there's an issue or discussion, we'll be meeting 6 o'clock, right, at the, do you know what room in the high school where?
I'll have to find out. I don't know.
Anyway, we meet before town meeting, Phil, high school, at 6 p.m.
B109.
109.
B108 or 109.
Room 109?
Yeah, we always have the wrong number.
We know where the room is.
We know the wrong number, we always have the wrong number.
Go to the cafeteria, take it right up the stairs.
We should call him.
Second or third door on the right.
Special education.
Okay, so we're gonna need this motion, yeah, correct?
Yes, sorry, the amount
This
is
one,
1,043,097.
This was in my packet.
Yeah, I think that's the.
This was it.
Yeah, right.
I have to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to put in, and the figure going in there,
1,043,097.
098, sir?
097.
097.
Yeah, I did say 098 to start.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
098, but it is 097.
Okay, let me put that in. Okay, ready?
Mr. Vino.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place the following question on the May 2nd, 2006 annual town
Excuse
election.
me. First, you have to rescind
Oh, yes.
the first vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, excuse me. Mr. Chairman, I move to rescind the vote of March 20th, 2006, placing a ballot question on the annual election ballot for a Proposition 2.5 override.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Vino, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Okay, Joe.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place the following question on the May 2nd, 2006 annual town election ballot. Shall the town of North Reading be allowed to assess an additional $1,043,097 in real estate and personal property taxes for the purpose of funding a portion of the general operating budget as stated in the warrant for the April 3rd, 2006 annual town meeting, including but not limited to compensation for all elected officers, providing for a reserve fund, and allocating sums of money to defray the charges and expenses of the town for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2006.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Vino, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous?
Sure you can.
I'd like to have a motion.
To send Brad
See
home.
if we can allow
I
Mr.
don't- yeah,
Jones
yeah,
to.
yeah. I gotta rest up.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
As soon as he leaves, I'll make a motion to reconsider.
Okay.
So I have to go back and drag him back.
Okay, I guess now we can get on to the, what we set out to do, that was to just kind of review the presentations. Mr. Belconis, do you want to start?
I don't have presentations.
Okay.
Been preoccupied.
And that's Mrs. Bailey, that's fine.
Mrs. Bailey's presentation.
You've been preoccupied with this issue.
Yes.
I entertained you with your story.
Right, you was going home.
Yes, she is.
All right, well, while we're waiting for Mrs. Bailey, I handed out just a simple presentation that will be embellished because of the fact that we're going to delay by a motion. We're going to, step one, we will take the 40R, we're going to move it to the back of the warrant. We'll make that motion early on in the open town meeting. And then we will, at the end of, when we get to that article, which will be the last article in the warrant, assuming that town meeting approves us doing this, of course, we will then adjourn to a date certain in May. And it may be the 11th or the 18th, and have we heard any more from Heidi? She was trying to get a date, but I got no email from her.
It was the 11th or the 18th, is my recollection.
Right.
And I don't know.
But we're not in control of that date. so-
Right, but it would be the 11th or the 18th, is that correct?
So, I'm assuming that, well, I'm reasonably sure we will have a date for next week. They were trying hard to get a date for our meeting this evening. I guess that didn't happen, so. And the reason for the delay is the state is still reviewing our application. There's some changes that had to be made as a result of requirements around the 40-hour rules. And those requirements center around the fact that when the state looks at the basic property, they look at it from the point of view of what can be built there, not what is proposed. And one of the issues that came up was their calculation for the amount of sewer capacity on gallons per day was calculated based on 606 units of a mix of 1 and 3 bedroom using a 1.7 bedroom per unit ratio times 110 gallons per day, which is the DEP conservative number, and you multiply all that together and it comes out over 115,000 gallons a day, which obviously the site, the plans that are being worked are not to that capacity. You'll have that capacity for a combination of both the apartments and the commercial, but not all dedicated to commercial. So that confusion went back to the state. It's currently being reviewed and negotiated. The other thing, which I thought was rather humorous, there was some feedback, but I think that that was more or less a response to the existing application. But it said that the application was rejected on the basis that the land involved was not highly populated and was underutilized. And then there was a definition of underutilized, which you have to scratch your head after reading it, because it says underutilized is highly populated with buildings that aren't utilized. And that's what the memo read. And I think that also got screwed up.
Sounds like a prudent move to allow the state some additional time to work through the issues.
Right.
And again, from our standpoint,
I
it
think-
means $1.6 million.
Right.
So,
What we're faced with here is that, they're in the process of doing this for the first time, basically, and several other communities in the same path, and they're a little concerned about setting precedences. I suspect we'll end up with maybe 1 or 2 more little cycles here before approval is granted. So we will be convening sometime in May, and according to town council, the way our bylaw reads is that we can adjourn to a time certain, but if it isn't a consecutive Monday or a Thursday, meaning because we'll skip a few weeks, the quorum kicks in. So we would be required to have a quorum of 150 people at that meeting. So therefore, it'll be up to the board to get the word out, to get people to the meeting for this very important decision, because, which leads into this presentation, basically from a selectman's overview. And I thought I'd just highlight some history first. It's on the slide and hand it out. And then lead into what, I think we should be pitching is that there's really 5 key benefits that we get from this. One is that, this was one of the prime reasons, provides over $100,000, 100,000 gallons a day of wastewater disposal for the town sewer district. 2, provides a payment of approximately $1.5 million. I may not have that number exact. No, 1.5, this one is exact. 1.5 million from the developers to be used toward a sewer treatment plant. Fulfills the town's 40B affordable housing requirement. And the 40R smart development yields a payment of about $1.2 million from the state. That number I'm not absolutely sure of. It's in that range. So. And places half of the buried property on the tax roll at this point. And this is input. This is here for comment. And then looking at the impact of the development will create a need for additional town services, which will be more than offset by the increase in tax revenue. And this was a study that was done by the proponent, and it was also in a peer review that came back, and although they didn't agree on the